Hello, everybody. We are back this week with another episode of Motorsport Minute, the number one motorsport podcast in the world. This week, I'm joined with my co-host Brady and the team from XP Derby Products. That team has partnered with us to be a part of our point series here in North Dakota for Timeless Motorsports. We're glad that they are on and like to hear more about their company and what they got going on. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you guys for joining us here.
There you go.
We kind of give you a little backstory here, about how this conversation came to be here. I'd reached out to XP earlier, probably towards the end of last year, kind of about what we're doing here in North Dakota with the shows. We got the 8 shows coming up. We're trying to run a point series. We are running a point series across them to try and get some extra prizes and stuff generated for the drivers that are going to be running the shows. And the guys over at XP answered right away and said basically they're all about it, and got some bumpers and some other stuff for prizes. So again, for that, to start off with that, thanks guys. We appreciate that. Jumping on as one of our class sponsors. I know some of these drivers that, whoever ends up climbing their way up to point series is going to be pretty excited about some of the new product that they're going to get their hands on. So to start with, thanks for that. But question for you guys, Brandon, we were talking the other day, you said you guys used to run trucks. Is that right?
So Ryan more than me, I helped Ryan put a truck together back in probably 2015.
Mm-hmm.
We put that together. I ran that at a couple county shows, and that's as far as it's been for me. But now we're starting to get into a little bit of the car world.
Yep. You said you might be dabbling a little bit with that.
Yeah, we're starting on one here now, and gonna run around a little summer. We'll see what it involves, but
right.
So
a little faith in the name.
Right. So what actually just what kicked off XP Derby Products? What started it? Whose idea was it? Was it conjoined idea?
I guess back in 20, it was probably 2016. I think it was the first time we went out to Blizzard Bash. Brandon and I seen, a lot of the vendors out that way. Obviously saw a need for, there was a lot of room for different players in the game.
Right.
Kind of came across, some of the other vendors, noticed what their parts were, being that we're into the manufacturing side of things. We figured that we could bring something to the table. So we both kind of joked around about who was going to be the face of it, and we both try to shy away from being the face of it regardless. So if we can hide behind a poster or an X and a P, that's kind of what we do. But we just felt that there was not a lot of players in the game for steel. There's a lot of people that sell, shifters and pedals, and we came across a lot of stuff that said budget on it too, and we don't do that. We build world class, things. We ship things all over the United States. We ship things to Australia. There's a lot going on with what we've got going, and we stand behind what we build, and I think there's a lot of class that it brings to. There's the backstory on it is basically we argued over and tried flipping coins over who was going to be the face of it, and couldn't come up with anything, but knew that there was a need that needed to be met, as far as what today needs and moving forward. And we're developing stuff weekly. It's not always on the site because we like to trial our stuff long before we ever send it to market. But I know there's some key players, in who's selling what and what's going on. But it seems like consistency is one of the things that the sport lacks.
Right.
As far as vendors go, either they have parts, they don't have parts. You know, that's a big thing for us. We don't put it on the site if we don't have it. So
Yeah.
it's not, you know, it's there's nothing more frustrating than going to order something and be told, well, you know, we can make it. Well, it's like going to Walmart, picking something off the shelf and being like, well, we can't sell that to you, but you know, we'll definitely get one coming. It just, that's not what Derby guys like to hear either. So,
Right.
So there was a lot of key factors into why we do what we do and how we went about doing it.
And we like to kind of just keep our product in more of the metal side of things, just because it fits in with the existing companies we have right now, manufacturing wise. So I mean, if we can run it through, you know, a laser brake roller or any of them things, and you know, get it out of steel, that's what it just fits into what we got going. So that's why we kind of like to stay in that ballpark.
Sure. So aside from building Derby parts, you guys kind of do some manufacturing as well?
Yeah, so there's two facilities that support our livelihoods. So that's kind of our bread and butter.
Sure.
That's what we focus on. So we're in the manufacturing, welding and fab. So this just fits into it.
Right. Does the XP stand for anything, or was it just a name you guys came up with?
I've had that question a lot. There's a lot of people that wonder that. We struggle to find a name, you know, that kind of fit what we wanted to do and what we wanted to represent for quite a while. I would say a good 6 months we talked about it.
Mhm.
And I must have pondered on it, yeah, for probably 6 months, even prior to trying to figure out what we wanted to use. XP stands for extreme pressure, which again kind of stands behind, you know, what we've got going on. I mean, there's, you know, the guys that we sponsor are probably some of the hardest drivers that you're going to see. They definitely put the stuff to the test. So that's, we wanted it to stand out, and I figured that there was going to be some questions about where the name came from and what it stands for. But yeah, extreme pressure is what it stands for. It's just XP fit perfectly on, you know, the icing on the cake for it. So,
Sure.
So yeah.
And where you guys are located in Wisconsin?
Yes. Yep.
Bloomer, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we're out of Bloomer.
Is that northern Wisconsin?
Yeah, I would say probably northeast
Oh,
or northwest. Sorry, northwest Wisconsin.
How
So,
close are you guys to
we're about
Superior?
I would say about an hour and a half from
Okay.
Superior, and probably about an hour and a half away from the cities, Twin
okay.
Cities, Minnesota. So,
Okay.
Not too far.
No.
You guys
Yeah.
got you said you're gonna build some cars this year, but I know we talked earlier this fall. You don't do a whole lot of the vending, do you? You know, as far as going and setting up at a show and doing all that side of things. And some people like it, some people don't, you know.
We've talked about it, and
Yeah.
will that day come? I don't know.
Right.
The biggest thing is right now, I mean, we both got kids under 5.
Yep.
That's a hard game. Our
Mhm.
wives, you know, like to see us home. So will it come? Probably.
Yep.
As of right now, it's not going to. Just because, you know, we have to focus on the, you know, 2 businesses that are keeping the livelihood here. So that comes first. And, you know, like I said, will it come? It probably will. But as of right now, you know, we won't.
Right. Just trying to, well, not even that, it's the cost with everything just to get to a show and vend as well.
Right.
Yeah, we've got a pile of people that we're kind of in. you could maybe say cahoots with too, but there's a lot of people that we know that, even for, a shipping aspect of it, as to where, if they're going to a show and some of our guys, that either, we sponsor and or we're just good friends with. I mean, because that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Everybody's always willing to say, hey, I'll take them along with us. That's not a big deal. And so we do that quite a bit. So
Sure. And not only helps, makes you look better, it helps you out. I mean, the consumer doesn't have to pay the shipping price and kind of all that, all the extra stuff. Well, I would assume one of your main sponsors or one of your most highlighted sponsored teams and or drivers would be, you had Team XP that got second at nationals, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So Johnson's and all those guys.
Yeah. So that team ran of the living legend Zach Johnson, Troy Johnson,
Mhm.
Chris Collins, and Jared Heaney. And I can't say enough thanks to them guys for putting the name on their car, and that's worth something to us. And they've been nothing but good to us. And as far as competition wise, they obviously form a good team. So
Right.
yeah, that worked out good.
Right.
can't
Right.
say enough about, for being, not only are they phenomenal drivers, but phenomenal group drivers and phenomenal people in general. They, not one of them guys, wouldn't say no to give you the shirt off their back. I mean, they're just awesome guys. And like most other Derby guys that we've ever met, I mean, they're just phenomenal people in general. So level-headed, they're good guys.
We went down to Bash last fall to watch, and I told Ryan, well, while we're down there, let's talk to every driver that bought parts from us that had a car there.
Mhm.
So we went around Saturday and talked to every driver that bought parts, and I was expecting to maybe get some attitudes or some talk back or whatever, and I was kind of dreading it. And
Yeah.
every single person was nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, there's
everybody gave us the time. Everybody gave us time and talked to us, and everybody was super nice.
I think Bobby Whitaker was the only one that gave us some scruffle. I went up to him and I said, hey Bob, I'm Ryan. I just want to let you know that XB, you got our front plates on. I said, I'd like to know how they fit. And he looks at me and he said, well, like garbage. And then he smiles, he laughs, he hits me in the stomach, and he walks away. So to get a response out of Bobby Whitaker like that, I think that's probably saying something too, because I know he doesn't like to be in the limelight by any means. So, but
Right.
everybody was super cool about what we had going on and wondering what we got next. So
sure.
Any
So as
good and
far
bad, that's where you're gonna, if you want to improve your product or keep a good product, changing with the game and changing with the rules and stuff. That's
Yep.
where you're gonna have to get your reviews from. You're gonna have to talk to the people that are actually out there putting it to the
Yeah.
test and see what's working, see what's not. Stay competitive.
These
Sometimes you might
cars,
have to take
Yeah.
action.
these cars that you guys are building, do you have any particular place that you're running them, or are you just building and then having them ready?
Well, the plan is just to run some county shows, and I'm hoping that I can get Ryan over the wall before he gets me, but we'll see how that goes.
Oh, you guys are both building cars?
He's got one right now, and then we're putting another one together, and we're gonna chase each other around.
Bragging rights. Yeah.
we should just do it in my front yard, but we'd rather have a video. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's that's good. That's good. You guys, well, I suppose say we got some big shows kind of far out, what are your thoughts on big shows versus the county shows? As a person supplying parts, obviously you'd like to see your parts probably at both, but I feel like from your standpoint, especially, your local county shows right there, probably have a little bit more of a better feeling to see that, the people that running shows local to you are supporting you guys.
Oh yeah. There's probably nothing better than having your neighbors running
Right.
the same parts you are, but
Right.
right.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
think a lot of that. I think a lot of the reason why we do some of the things that we do too is the youth coming up.
Mhm.
We don't. It is an expensive sport, and it's expensive to get into. And if you want to be a player in the game, you need to have decent equipment. I'm not saying you have to have the best of the best, but you need to have decent equipment.
Mhm.
And for us to offer what we offer, to, like Brandon was saying, the neighbors, that's a huge gold star for us. I mean, we like nothing better to see, youth drivers and younger drivers, be able to be, to afford the things, that we can provide too, versus, even some of the national side of things, big shows and things like that. It's just, it's really neat to see the youth, kind of come into play. We all started, somewhere once, and I remember, I remember my first car. So
Yeah.
it's definitely different than what it was, what it is now. But that's a huge plus for us. That's the thing that we like seeing. So, and we'll actually root against each other when we come across that. So.
I'll say, speaking of kind of on the same line there, one of the things, that XP here is we kind of talked about for our point series and stuff, just like stuff like door strapping, right? Like you can use that in any class, and yeah, it's not as expensive as a lot of other things, but man, it adds up. If you're trying to build multiple cars a year, little stuff like that adds up. And to have a product like that you can buy, you're not gonna go bankrupt for it, and you got your door strapping just one click away, and it can get shipped to you. We're
Yeah,
gonna.
it's getting like the town here, or I'm not in Bismarck, but Bismarck, North Dakota would be kind of the closest town for me, about an hour away. They're the only town in 100-ish plus mile radius with metal, and there is only one metal shop in that 100-mile radius. So
If they're out of something, they're out of something. I mean, granted,
exactly,
they be able to get it in, but you never know if it's going to be there the next day. So
especially the last couple of years, it's been tough to get certain things.
Yeah. One of the things that we just started offering was we've got some bumper brackets that go on, the back of new style Fords. They're a huge time saver. What they do is you weld them straight onto the side of your frame, and then it's already got all the geometry for you to put your 2x6 tube that goes on the back of, like an 03 newer 9802. You can use them on bubble stuff too, just the same. But just those two brackets alone saves a ton of time. First of all, for cutting them out yourself, and second of all, you don't have to figure out the geometry of it. I mean, it's kind of a plug and play, and
right.
You obviously you'll add a top and a bottom to that, but just to have that,
Right.
it's just a lifesaver. I mean, any time that you can save on your build, it's more time you can concentrate somewhere else. So
Right.
it all adds up.
Do you do the wheel centers and all that stuff, or is it mostly brackets and?
We do a few wheel centers, but not too many. We mostly focus on front plates just because there's not a lot of companies that offer them, I feel like. I mean, at least I haven't found, but
Right.
like I said, it just fits into the machines we have access to, and it's so
Right.
easy for us to, get into that.
What's
Is,
the hardest
wheel-
part with making brackets? I mean, I shouldn't say with making the brackets, but you get so many different styles of cars, so many different bends, so many different contours. Some like it on the top, some like it on the side. Has that been a challenge, or do you kind of stick with the GM and the Vic for now?
So far, we've been sticking with GM and Vic.
Mhm.
I want to get into some maybe some shocker, some metric, maybe some imps.
Sure.
That's what I kind of want to get into, but just the amount of different front plates a guy can run on, GMs to boards.
Right.
I mean, I've got hours and hours of, trying to make the first front plate of this style and the first of that one. And, I've made custom punches and dies, and, now we got it down to a pretty good rhythm. But yeah, it's to first get that figured out it's a challenge, but
Yeah.
So you got them. I was gonna say you got them contour door skins. You guys,
Yeah.
you guys burn through those, don't you?
yeah. We've had very good feedback on them about how they fit.
Yeah.
So
I
there's-
I read some comments. Somebody said, I was cruising through one of the Derby pages the other day looking for some parts, and somebody had asked for door skins, and there was like 3 people on there that commented right below that and said XP, is like a perfect fit for whatever they're working with. So
Mhm.
It's one of those
and
time savers too.
yeah,
Yeah. The days of ratchet strapping are over.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's done ratchet strapping.
And it's not fun.
So if you're anything like us, ours are all wore out, so you got to watch where you stand.
Yeah. Ratchet strap, pound, weld 1 inch, pound again, ratchets. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
And again, big time
yeah,
saver.
so when we make door skins or front plates, we have doors and we have front stubs, and we'll pull them out every time and check the first few pieces to make sure we're on, and then every 5th piece we'll put on the frame.
Mhm.
So we try to focus hard on the quality, because the last thing I want is somebody calling me, hey, this don't fit. I mean, no matter what business you're in, at the end of the day, them calls are never good.
right. Right. I believe here coming up, it won't be too long away, as fast as it feels like we just heard that we were starting the new year, but we're going to be halfway through it pretty soon. I think we're going to run into you guys down at Memorial Madness. I don't know if
Maybe
we'll cross paths down
Yep.
there or not.
Yeah, we're gonna meet up there. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Only if you get your build done.
Oh, they'll be done.
Oh, mine's pretty close. Half done already. 3/4 done.
Same here.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Not enough hours in a day.
I got one more question for you. You guys, you don't have to spill the beans, if you're not understand how that stuff goes, but you guys got anything that you're kind of working on in the background? Like you said, a little test and tune of your own before you release it to the public.
Oh.
So yeah, that's fine.
I guess, like I said, what I'm starting to dig into right now is I want to get into a little of the metric game, because I feel like that's starting to pop up a little more and more.
Oh yeah.
Maybe some shocker and amp. That's kind of what I'm doing in. Ryan's got some other things, but the thing is, we like to either find somebody, mostly because we don't do enough builds, but we like to put our product on a car first before we sell it online.
Mm.
So that's kind of what holds it up a little bit is, we ran, the Watts brake thing. We had cars with it on for 2 years before we offered it, because we wanted to see if they could get it to bend.
Right.
Yep.
So, that comes back to the whole, I don't really want people calling me up saying, hey, this shit's junk.
Yep.
So if your parts aren't on your website, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Just phone call?
Yeah, that or message me. Yeah, email. My wife checks email every day. I deal with all the messaging, so somebody's going to answer.
Sure.
So, most of the time I answer. I'm sure you know how that is. You get a hold of me every time.
Yeah.
We know how that
One
is.
of the things that we build, so for our Blizzard Bash team, other than Jared Heaney, there was this kind of prior pre knowing him, but we build all their transmissions. So we do all of our own transmissions. I do all of our own motors as far as Brandon and I, and Zach actually had one of them motors. I think it was last year and the year before. I think he ran around with that a little bit. It was just an LS, a 6-liter, kind of a screamer. I mean, it was on the healthier side of things. But we get guys calling left and right asking us to build transmissions, and that's one of the things I just haven't fell overboard on yet. So
Right.
I think we'll just keep doing it for the boys and for ourselves. And
Yep.
And yeah, I know down at Bash, we had one. It was actually Chris's. It actually ran out of fluid, and it still moved forward and reverse because of what we do to them. So yeah. So they're pretty healthy, and I'm super proud of that. So shout out to Chris on that too. So
Yeah, that transmission game, that's a whole nother ball. That's a different animal there.
Yeah, that's a
Well, I
whole other
guess-
I think I
market.
could-
Everything.
Yeah, God, I gotta
if
get
I had
tops.
$1 for everybody that asked about him, I could probably retire. So
Yeah,
Wow, I bet.
no. And then when when the
yeah,
season
there's not
starts-
enough hours in the day. So
No.
when that season starts too, then the trannies, then people are buying them. They may only need, they may want 1 or 2, off season to have ready, but if you've been in a car before, any derby guy could tell you, you could run one tranny 3-4 times, or you could run it for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So props.
yeah, no, absolutely.
Or anybody that's building parts for that matter, at the end of the day, you're building parts somebody else is gonna put a lot of time and money and effort into in another car, and yet you just want to hope that what the stuff you're putting out there is holding up and doing a great job. But again, that's why you run R&D for 2 years on stuff before you let it hit the market, and you're like, yep, it's worked, we're comfortable with it, instead of slapping it together and throwing it out on the market. So and on top of that too, like sticking with what you are doing, instead of trying to offer 100 different things. You're offering what you're offering, what you can crank out. Like, we have this, so we'll put it up, not we'll get it to you in a year type of deal. So
Yeah.
I think that goes a long way.
We do have a few things that we're working on too, or I guess I am too, but I'll probably hold them cards close to my chest here for now. So
Yeah,
For sure.
that's fine.
sorry, boys.
Yeah, no,
All good.
we'll see them on somebody's car eventually.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
At least
Absolutely. You'll know what they are when you see them.
Yeah, nope, that's fine. Well, I don't have much else here, guys. Like I said, we wanted to get you on board here again. Thank you guys for supporting us here, and the drivers up here in North Dakota, and offering us some stuff for our point series up here. Whoever wins that stuff's going to come out pretty happy here. At the end of the day, the businesses, I could go through a list here of all the businesses that are supporting us in our point series here this year. But it just goes to show, without businesses like you guys and stuff that are willing to go the extra mile to help get stuff off the ground like that, sometimes that's a determining factor of somebody showing up or building the car or not building the car, trying to do something else, offering something else up that they have a chance to win, stuff like that. And these bumpers, for instance, that the product we're going to get from you, we're going to have it, because shipping on that type of stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
So that'll already be here, and that might have been something like, hey, they might not have bought one, or they would have had to try and figure out how to get one. Well, if they win it, it's going to be here. They're going to get XP product basically delivered to them. So that's good. So
No,
thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
greatly appreciate what you guys are doing, and hopefully everything keeps growing and growing, and hope to see you guys in another month. Well, a month and a half.
Month and a half. We'll catch you guys at Memorial.
Yeah, if nothing else, I'll be in Superior, Wisconsin in 2 weeks. So I wish I had time to sneak down, but I don't think I will.
No worries.
It might work out too. You never know. Sometimes it's nice to go for a joyride.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is the beer cold over that way?
Yeah.
I was gonna say the the beer in the fridge can travel. So
Oh, it can.
We'll
Yeah.
probably only
Okay.
go there for
Yeah.
time.
In that
Perfect.
case, the road trip might be in order. Well, all right, gentlemen,
Yeah.
thank you. And if nothing else, we will see you gentlemen not too long.
Thanks, guys.
awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks.
guys.